Today we're going to be making a Halloween bundt cake. The things that you're going to need to make this bundt cake is a package of gluten-free chocolate cake mix. I happen to use Bob's Red Milk. You need to have that already prepared and ready to go. And then a white cake, which I chose to use the Allergen-Free Baker's Handbook. And she has a wonderful vanilla recipe in here that I really like, as well as her frosting. And so I chose to make that cake here. You need to start with all your cake mixes ready to go. And then what you need to do is simply buy some dyes. This is a Wilton's brand dye. And I started with an orange, and I already started that one. We're going to use, this one is a Regal purple. Wilton, this is not by Wilton, but it does make a brighter purple than the violet. So you just start with your cake mixes and start swirling in your chocolate. This will make a nice ghastly purple to go with your orange. So we're going to stir that up until you get it to the shade you want. I think I'm going to add just a little more. So hopefully you're not allergic to dyes. This makes a very simple, fast and easy, but impressive dessert if you're going to a potluck or to a school event or a PTA and you need to make something allergy-free, but quick and easy. So here's our purple. Much better purple than the light one I initially had. Okay, so there's our purple. Those were both made with white cake mixes. Now, your chocolate is going to just be brown if you don't dye it. So we're going to actually dye that one black. And we add just a little black food color. My mom always used a toothpick. I don't know if that's the right way or not. But my mom made cakes, and she always used a toothpick. So I used a toothpick. And so what we're going to do here is just blend that up. And we're going to make the cake black. And that will give the nice haunting effect that we need to make our Halloween bundt cake. You're going to need to also get a bundt pan. 12 cup capacity, mine happens to be 9, and that usually is sufficient. But on the whim and a broomstick, they do recommend a 12 cup bundt pan. And I don't think that's dark enough. So I'm going to add just a little more black. Always making it to whatever you desire. If you want it darker or lighter. There we go. We're going to stir that up. Alright, now we're going to start with our chocolate cake mix. That needs to go in first. Now, we're going to leave just a little reserve, probably about maybe a third to a half a cup, to put on the bottom, which will be the top of your cake. So just leave enough to cover. The one good thing that I find with gluten-free cake mixes is that they don't tend to give you a lot for your money. So when you go to fill a bundt cake, you can actually use the whole cake mix. Whereas if you had a regular gluten cake mix, that isn't true. You wouldn't be able to fit the whole 2 cake mixes in a bundt pan. Now we're going to put the purple just right on top of your chocolate. And do not swirl or mix this in. You are literally just putting it right on top. Do not mix it in or anything like that. It makes a beautiful tunnel all on its own when it bakes up. So don't stir or mix it or anything like that. Alright. Purple's been added. Last one is your orange. Put that right on top. Almost done and ready to bake. If you haven't already preheated your oven, go ahead and do that at 350. And we're going to bake the cake for about 35 minutes. I always start there with my bundt cakes, but I've also found that sometimes you need to simply check your bundt cake and make sure that it's done. Sometimes they go a little longer, sometimes they go a little less, but not usually less than 35. So I always like to start at 35. I've been known to burn things because I was not mindful. And I just, for whatever reason, picked the upper end of the cooking time on the box and then found myself with burnt food. So don't do that. Start with a little less. You actually, especially if you're taking it somewhere and you actually really want it to work, you should start with a little less time. And that way you'll have plenty of time to cook it a little longer and not burn your food. Okay, we're all done. Now, it's not very pretty at the moment, but once it bakes out, it turns out gorgeous. So don't be fooled. It's Halloween. Looks scary to begin with. Gets better when it's baked. All right, our cake has come out of the oven and we've put it on a plate. Now we're going to cut it because I don't like lots of frosting. And to show you the beautiful tunnel effect of the cake, like that one, it comes out looking just like this. All right, you will notice I actually made 2 cakes here. Because when I spoke earlier, I used a Regal Purple in this cake batter. And you will notice that the actual purple, and this one is a bit darker. You can see it on that side. Maybe this side's a bit better. And on this one's lighter. And so I would recommend using the Wilson's Violet because it comes out a little punchier in the middle. Also, if you do frosting or you like frosting, you can feel free to use, I would again use the Violet instead of the Regal Purple. Otherwise, it's going to come out darker. I did use the Regal Purple in the frosting, so make your frosting. I made purple, black, and orange. And you can simply take these colors, if you like it, on top of your cake, and you can drizzle it on your cake and do the whole bundt cake if you want to do it that way. Like I said, I don't like my cake all covered in frosting. My kids think I'm strange, but that's just not my thing. So take your frosting and you can just spread it across the plate. That's why I was recommending the lighter purple, because that purple actually looks just like the black. So I'm only going to just use the purple. And you can put the orange on the plate. And then you can place your piece of cake right on there. I want to eat it. But anyway, we'll move that to the side. Or if you want to, again, do the whole cake, you can just as easily take your frosting, that you're dairy-free or any of your favorite frosting, heat it up. I heated mine up for 10 seconds at a time until it was the consistency I wanted it. Again, I used the Sybil Pascal's buttercream frosting, added a teaspoon of milk at a time until it was the thinness that I wanted, and then I heated it up in the microwave 10 seconds at a time. And then you can do, again, the violet would have been a better option because this violet, the Regal Purple came out more looking like a black. But you can just pick your color. If you like it this way, that's fine too. And you can do the whole entire cake. And there you have your Halloween tunnel marbled cake.